After losing the opener to the Boston Red Sox at Fenway, I told you guys I'm going to switch to this jersey. It was lucky last season. And the Blue Jays go on to win both games to win the series 2-1 over the Boston Red Sox and win the series at Fenway. And are now 8-5 on the year. They've won back-to-back contests with a 3-2 win. Today, got a little dicey there in the ninth inning, but the boys, the defense, and Romano's held down the fort, and the Jays win it. A remarkable pitching performance from Kevin Gausman. The defense was on display as well. Couple big-time knocks, some lucky bounces, then some small ball, and you got the job done. The Jays, as a team, held the Red Sox to a total of 5 runs in the entire series. It's pretty damn good. An offense that good to hold them to 5 runs through a 3-game span, oh yeah, that was nice. Now let's get to how this game unfolded. We go to the top half of the third inning, and who gets it all started? Kunske Kato gets on. A leadoff walk of Tanner Houck, and Raimel Tapia then hits a single, moving him over, and Bo Bichette knocks home Kato, and the Blue Jays are in front 1-0. A little slap ball the other way through the hole into right field for a base hit. Kato comes in to score, and the Blue Jays are on top 1-0. But if you have a guy at third, I believe it was first and third with 1 out, you gotta find a way to score the run. We talked about it yesterday, how Springer had the great approach to the plate of, hey, I'm just looking to drive a ball and get this run home. Vladdy does the exact same thing. Drives one, it was a high fly ball near the green monster, but it was deep enough to score the run. In comes Tapia, and the Blue Jays are up 2-0 in the top of the third. Great stuff. Kevin Gausman just dealing pitch count low. It's just a beautiful performance. We go to the top of the 6th inning. The Jays have a couple guys on. And Matt Chapman pops one up on the infield. I believe it was with 2 out as well. Pops one up right in front of the pitcher's mound. Or it was about halfway between the pitcher's mound and home plate and a little bit to the first base side. And the pitcher, Ryan Brazier, doesn't go for it, as he shouldn't. The pitchers never go for a ball like that, which is fine. The second base is way too far. Christian Vasquez, I believe it was, the catcher, trying to go out. That's a really tough play for a catcher, especially going in front of the plate and having to look backwards. It's really difficult. Then you have the first baseman coming in, and he's looking at the catcher. I'm like, buddy, you got to take charge of that. Because that's a tough play for the catcher. He doesn't take charge. It drops in. Since there's 2 out, Vladdy's moving on the swing or on the hit, on contact. And he ends up coming home. Ball drops in. He's already past home plate. And the Blue Jays add a run. It's a 3-0 game. It counts as a single for Chapman, which is kind of grimy, but he'll take it. It was Tapia's score. I thought it was Vladdy. I don't know why I thought it was Vladdy. Tapia scores on the plate. And the Blue Jays are now up 3-0. Kevin Gausman's dealing. We're feeling great about ourselves. The question then came, though, in the bottom half of that 9th inning. Jays are up 3-0. His pitch count is very low, in the mid-80s. Do you throw him out there for the 9th? And I had the mindset of this, and it's exactly the way it played out. I was okay with him not going out there because you were facing the top of the lineup for the 4th time. So I'm like, if they don't put him out there, I understand it. However, pitch count's really low. You're up by 3. I give him out there. If a guy gets on base, that's your quick hook. Romano was already warm and ready to go, as they did in the 8th and the top half of the 9th, getting Romano up and ready. And what does he do? He goes back out there, which I'm very pleased to see. Pete Walker and Charlie Montoya come to the consensus to put him back out there for the 9th with that pitch count as low as it was. And he gives up a leadoff single to start the inning. I believe it's on 1 pitch as well. Charlie comes out, takes the ball, and we're like, yeah, it kind of makes sense. What a hell of a job for Kevin Gausman. 8+ innings, and he was absolutely spectacular all afternoon long. And they bring in Jordan Romano. And he faces Devers, and he walks him. And I'm like, oh, no. No. The time runs at the plate with nobody out. This is not good. He ends up getting 1, right? I believe it was 1, and then Bogarts doubles. And Trevor Story comes in to score. And I'm freaking out here. No, sorry, there was nobody out. Then Bogarts hit the double. They score 1. All right, and then it's second and third with nobody out. The tying run is in scoring position with nobody out. And he gets one. Or there might have been one out there. Honestly, no, because then they had an RBI ground out. Verdugo hit to second base, right? They get the out at first. That's nice. Devers scores to make it a 3-2 game. The tying run is 90 feet away with one out. And it brings up Jackie Bradley Jr., and he is went hard the other way on the ground. And what a job by Matt Chapman. I mean, not trying to be too fancy, just keeping his body in front of it, knocking it down. He ends up getting it, and on the transfer bobbles it a little bit, but runs, as he's bubbling it, he runs Bogarts back to third. Then he corrals it. He's a strong enough arm. He rifles it over to first to get Jackie Bradley, and there's two out, and that runner is still at third. Massive, massive play defensively from Matt Chapman there. And then he gets a ground ball to Vladdy to end the ball game, and the Blue Jays win the series. I mean, that was so close to falling apart, but it didn't. And that's what Jays fans, we all got used to that last season. The Jays getting to that point where they're up 3-0 or up late in the game, and then poof, you blow it and you lose. Well, they bent, but they didn't break. And that's a sign of a great team. Even when you don't have your best, you find a way. And that right there is why you got Matt Chapman. For moments like that, the Jays are one of the highest teams in the MLB of ground balls to third. They were awful last year at third until they found Santiago Espinal. But, it's not the same feeling about having a platinum gold glover in Matt Chapman over there. And that right there is why he's a stud. Absolute stud. And the Jays win it. Now, there's a lot of things I want to touch on. Obviously, the Matt Chapman play I touched on. And Raimel Tapia, a guy who played in Colorado, so obviously hasn't had a lot of time at Fenway Park. It's a fly ball from Christian Vasquez. It goes off the green monster. It bounces once, but Tapia plays it really, really well off the wall. Doesn't get too close to the wall. He knows it's going to bounce and carry him off the green monster. So it does. It bounces. He gets on a bounce and turns and fires a seed into second base. And a great tag from Cateau on the leg of Vasquez to get the out. An incredible play by Raimel Tapia. And look, pitching and defense, it'll win you games. And it did today. The offense really wasn't there. 3 runs on 9 hits. Not a big night offensively. Or a big afternoon. But pitching and defense will win you a lot more games than offense will. It's just stats, right? Great pitching always beats good hitting. It's very evident. And that was pretty obvious today. Now, I wanted to bring up one thing was George Springer. Because we obviously know what happened yesterday, him getting hit by pitch. And he left the game, didn't return. We didn't think he was going to be in the lineup today. He actually came in to pinch hit. First and third, 2-out situation. He had 2 at-bats in the game. He struck out both times. And both times he ended up on one knee. And I'm like, no. We saw that way too much last year. I don't care if he does not play in a game. Do not break this guy. Now, I'm not saying he's hurt. It might just have been a hard swing, whatever. Fine, so be it. But the last thing we want is for him to get hurt, especially with Teoscar still out. Like, I understand they got through it today, somehow, because you got production from guys like Cateau. Tapia had a couple hits in the game. You got a job from those dudes. I mean, it was great. But I was really impressed with what we saw from the guys who stepped up today, the guys who stepped into these holes. They did a really, really nice job. Now, a crazy stat that I wanted to throw out there that obviously doesn't change with today's outing from Kevin Gausman, but when he was out there for the 9th, the stat they threw out there was the last time a Blue Jay pitcher threw a complete game was Marcus Stroman in 2017, and I'm like, oh my God. It's been 5 years since a Jays pitcher has thrown a complete game, albeit the 2020 season was abbreviated, but man, I mean, they were bad for 18 and 19, but holy smokes, that's pretty bad. Albeit pitching has changed a lot since then, right? You're seeing a lot less innings for the starting pitchers, and you're not seeing those 200 innings as much as you used to, right? So I get it, but that's just a crazy stat that I wanted to fire out there for you guys. Now let's get into the team stats before we preview the next series for the Jays. Raimel Tapia, I thought he was great. Defense, phenomenal. Went 2 for 5, scored a run today, or scored 2 runs. Like, my notes might have been all over the damn place. I said he scored twice, but then I wrote down he scored 1 run. Heck, I don't know, guys. I'm screwing up here left and right. Bo Bichette, can people stop? Can people stop questioning this guy? Like, he had one bad game defensively, and he hadn't had a hot start to the season offensively, and then people are calling for him, saying, whoa, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Relax. Bo will find out how to do things. He was 2 for 4 today with an RBI, and he got a big hit yesterday, the 2-run single, and then he had the 2 for 4 with the RBI to start the game today. So he was great again. Lourdes Gurriel 1 for 3 in the game, walked once as well. Matt Chapman, albeit 2 of his 3 hits, one was the error that didn't get called an error, obviously, and then there was a little dribbler between third and short that had eyes and squeaked through the left side. So yeah, he was 3 for 4 in the game with an RBI. That one RBI came on that weird play, and 2 of his 3 hits were not hit very hard. But however, you'll take it no matter what, right? Matt Chapman, look, he's definitely been swinging the bat a lot better as of late. And now you're starting to see the defense start to take fold. I don't know, Matt Chapman, the comfort level looks really, really high for Matt Chapman. Team overall had 9 hits in the game, struck out 8 times. And those aren't the keys to the game, though. Kevin Gausman was the key to the game. 8 innings, 7 hits, 1 run, and 8 strikeouts. You want to know another crazy stat? He has thrown 18 and 2/3 innings, 18 and a third, over 18 innings this season. The man hasn't walked a batter. I might have just jinxed it, but you're always bound to walk a guy here and there. So I'm not worried about that. I didn't want to say it mid-game, and he didn't. He didn't walk a guy again today. He's just pounding the strike zone, and his stuff has so much movement that it's so hard to lay off. What's the best pitch? An off-speed pitch. Strike the ball, breaking balls. Whether it's a curveball, whether it's a splitter, a slider, whatever. If it's a strike to ball, breaking ball, or off-speed, those are the most dominant. Because it looks like a strike to the hitter, and with the late break, it just dies out whichever way it goes. And he had that on point this afternoon against the Red Sox. Obviously, the 8 strikeouts over 8 innings. I thought he was spectacular in today's game. I would have loved him to finish it off, but I 100% agree with the moves Charlie made today. Putting him out there for the 9th, the quick hook, and that was that. Obviously, Romano goes out there, gives him a hit, a walk, a run, but holds the fort down, plus the defense behind him, and Matt Chapman picks up his 7th save on the season and stays perfect on the year and keeps the streak alive as a Jays closer. And the most important thing, the Jays win the series 2-1 over the Red Sox. So, hey, a divisional team that you're going to be fighting with all season long. You just won first road series of the year. That is crucial. I understand it's only April, but those games, those series come back to haunt you down the stretch. And Jays fans, I'll tell you this. Last year, the Jays missed out by 1 game. You win 1 more game, you're in the playoffs. Every game is important. The fact that Romano, yeah, he almost choked it, but he didn't. And you held on to win the ball game. Right? It's games like this. If you lost this game, and then you move forward, and you miss the playoffs by a game or 2, you look back to a game like this as a problem. You go out there, you win the ball game, and it's great. Now, let's quickly preview the next series against the Houston Astros down in Houston. It ain't going to be easy. Game 1 goes tomorrow night. It's an 8:10 first pitch there. Ross Stripling gets the ball for the Jays. He was great in his starting debut this season against Oakland. However, you're facing a very different team in the Houston Astros. I think Jose Altuve's out, but still a prolific team. And the Jays historically haven't been the greatest down there in Houston. And you're facing Justin Verlander, who I guess hasn't missed a beat. It's pretty wild the way he is and the way his stuff is still at his age. Game 1, that's on Friday night at 8:10. Game 2 is a 4:10 first pitch, and this is going to be a good matchup. We have Jose Urquidy on the mound for the Astros against Alek Manoah. It's a 4:10 first pitch there. Man, Manoah in his last couple outings, he faced Oakland, but two of his first 3 outings are against the Yankees and the Astros. But that's where you want your best pitchers against the best teams, all right? So he's going in Game 2 on Saturday. And then Sunday, you have Luis Garcia on the mound for the Astros and Yusei Kikuchi for the Blue Jays. Kikuchi looking to continue the momentum from Game 1 of this series against the Red Sox into that Sunday afternoon game in Houston at 2:10. All right, I want to get your predictions on the series. What do you think? What do the Jays need to do to win that series down in Houston? As I've said before, all you have to do is win series. You don't have to sweep teams, especially teams this good. Just go out there, you win 2 of 3. You win series in the MLB, you'll go a long, long way. All right, so Game 1 goes Friday at 8:10, Stripling versus Verlander at 8 o'clock. Can't wait for that stuff. Right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and you enjoyed the game this afternoon, smack that like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button. You guys are not already. Comment down below. Thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game. Would you like, would you not like from today's game for the Toronto Blue Jays? The Twitter link is down below. So, no, comment down below. Go crazy. Twitter link is down below. So follow up, send me DM to that great stuff. The Instagram link is also down below. So follow up there if you guys have not done so already. And I will talk to you guys. Raptors edition, when that's Saturday. I believe it's Saturday at 2 o'clock, which is weird. Why is it so late? Either way, Saturday, 2 o'clock, Game 4. We'll see what happens with the Toronto Raptors. If they play Game 5 or if they're packing and calling it a season. We'll have to wait and see on Saturday afternoon. And for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they're back in action tonight as they're in Tampa facing off the Lightning. You win that game tonight, you have clinched home ice in the first round. You clinched that second seed in the Atlantic Division. So, things on the line today. No Matthews, no Muzzin. No problem. The Leafs have done that in the last couple of games. So we'll see how that plays out tonight in Tampa. And as for the Blue Jays, they get on the plane to take on the Houston Astros on where is it? Tomorrow night. I keep thinking today's Wednesday because I was off work. I don't know why. Tomorrow, they play the Houston Astros in Game 1 of that weekend set. Ross Stripling, Justin Verlander is the pitching matchup. 8-10 first pitch there. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll talk to you guys then.